All right. If you're happy, let me know it. Clap your hands. Guys, I mean, if you're not excited like I'm excited, we got some volatility in the market, and there's tons of points to be made if you are emotionless and playing the chart in ATR. Okay, so again, you see what's happening, what happened today. This is how you walk through, and you in the moment it's always tough, but you have to constantly be building that story in your head of what could happen and planning. So again, remember that 400 area. It's important to keep that. So look, now here's your zone. So what ends up happening is, see this 5 minute, you end up coming below, and this was your close. This is your close line right here at let's see, let's move that. Yeah, you see it's right there. It's your close line. So now you have a dip below fail, you go in long right here, and this was at 9 o'clock. This took 30 minutes. That sometimes can be really tough. That first 30 minutes when you're waking up and your anticipation of what's the market going to do, because you don't see any of this, and it's about patience and just getting in. If you get stopped out, just wait and get in. So this happened to be one of my best days because I hit every move to the T and did really well just with one contract. So right here, this is when you go long. Why? Because the rules. I mean, it's see how this wick on the 30-minute candle, it's above. So it's support until resistance. And then you have 5, 10, 15 minutes, you shoot up almost 50, 60 points into the bull pivot. And then now you sell and you wait and see, and you have this closure, but then it comes right back down. So this tells me if you cover all of this up, if you don't see any of it, look to your right. Like all those wicks right below that line tells me that it's not as strong as it should be. So you can see how it just keeps wicking. So here I'm going to anticipate that this is just an area of concern, and we actually could be doing a lower high or higher low. You see how we're sort of trending up. So keep that in mind, because this is super important to know that 400 level area, the zone, and anytime you have a pattern, patterns are good because it tells you that it's picked a direction. If you have patterns near support or resistance, it's even better, because then it tells you that is your best bet on the direction that it wants. The other thing you need to recognize is, remember the multi-day pivots. Especially when you have a lot of volatility. You see this was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Here we at. You will see coming up, I've already sort of spoiled it. You come all the way up to the mid-range pivot, and it's struggling around there. It struggled all morning to get up there. So you remember, you're like, okay, we're not getting momentum in the morning, then compartmentalize, and you could have another session in the afternoon that can give more range. So what ends up happening? We break above. In my mind, if you end up breaking above that major resistance, if it ends up going back below, it's going to get violent really quick. And let's take a look, and I'll show you how violent it got. They just get violent. It got like nasty. So look at this. You have a perfect consolidation pattern. And it was a push, no momentum. No momentum. Your target should have been right here. If you got in and you got stopped out, if you get stopped out 2, 3, 4 times, that's the clue to be like, I need to step away. I need to step away for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. I need to come back another session, because they keep getting stopped out. That means something's wrong, and you're going to start getting into these consolidation patterns. So what ends up happening? Push, fail. Push. Now where are we at? Rule. Remember rule? 1030. Here's the 1030. You're not making new highs. You see these candles, the 30 minutes right here? They're not closing. So yes, after the market closes, you slowly are coming up right here. You have this trend during lunch, you could say, yeah, but it's after the European close. But you want to wait until at 12 o'clock. What ends up happening right at 12? This right here is 5 minutes before. So that's the reason why I have that there. You end up dropping below. Now you want to say, okay, now going into the 12 or 12:30 candle, I want to be already pre-positioned and front run, so I'm shorting, and if I'm wrong, and it stops me back out again. See, this right here sort of will screw up your mind, especially doing this for like an hour or two, and you lose track of the bigger picture. Well, I ended up getting in right here and risking to above. If I got stopped, no big deal. Eventually, I'm going to be right. Within 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, really 15 minutes, you dropped basically, what's he, 440 to 320. So that's 120 points. You had a 100-point move within 15 minutes. Massive. And why does it happen? Because of this. Remember, the start of that consolidation. This is a key level right here as well. That's your low of your day. You break that, it's gonna get nasty. But also, you broke right here, so you have this consolidation break. So it needed to hold right here and then reverse. If it broke, which it did, you could have got in right here and targeted right here. But because it was nasty, it's gonna target the next level. And that's the reason why I keep these levels on for the week. Because remember the past 2 days, remember how this was strong? Remember how this was strong? This was the breakdown reversal. You keep it. Keep it. Tell a story. What ends up happening? That's going to be super important on a 30 minutes. Because look at this. You drop, you drop, you drop. What ends up happening? You get in right here after you take profit. You get back in. You set your stop. And then you target to the mid-range. So we had basically a full ATR range because you had a bull pivot to mid-range. It's equivalent of the opening to an ATR pivot. It's the same amount of points if you measure it. So that's a full range. Once again, you have another full range day. We've been having that nonstop. So with that said, what do you do when it comes back down to here? Look out to the T. You sell and you reverse. What does it end up doing? It goes up another 100 points. Remember, bear bull pivot to mid is always 100 points. So what is this? 320. What does it go down to right here? About 220. So that's 100 points, one contract, $2,000. I mean, that's an amazing risk. You get down here, you have one contract. If you're wrong and it busts through and it keeps going, oh well. But if you're right and you hold for basically an hour, you're up $2,000. So that was the play. But you see why it was important to have this level right here. Because look at how these candles, why it was violent. So before the end of this candle, this 30-minute candle, see how it closed above that line? I mean, we'll even zoom in. This is a 30-minute chart. So you see how it closed. This is the exact candle above. So, and if you notice on the multi-day, this is the bull pivot. So it bounced right off. That would be your target. You can't get greedy in the market. You have to take your gains. Huge move. Huge bounce. That was it. The move is done. Okay? Day's done. But that is why it was critical. Like, if this didn't come up here and bounce off and come back down, the moment it came back up, now you can look at this as a look below and fail kind of move too on a major support. That's what you're looking for, either levels or support. These look below and fails, because now you have this hammer, and so now you know the direction is going to be upwards for the rest of the afternoon. So that is this. This is a beautiful play to the T when it comes to levels. Remember, it's not always 100% accurate, but when it is, you get in right here 80% of the time, but you also have to give yourself a little bit of room. But look, pattern, break, fail, bust, and then bounce. So hard when it's like this. When you see red, 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 this is the hardest thing in trading to do, and it takes a lot of practice to play both directions. I've always had a hard time, but the moment you start like visualizing what things could do and just finding those good risk reward areas, then things just happen, and they work. So red, 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 red. Who in the right mind would actually go long here? Well, I would, because I mean, it's the rule. It's a pivot. You know, we're completing an end of we're in the middle of a 30-minute period, and you could end up bouncing back like that. Seen this too many times. All right, guys. Again, if you're happy and you know it, let me know, because this right here, there's more of it every day. Just patience, getting at levels. If you're just a morning player, play the morning. If you're an afternoon player, play the afternoon. If you're both, Compartmentalize. All right, to the next video.